Hello and welcome to What the Flick. I'm Matt Atchity. This is Alonso Duralde of The Wrap, and more importantly, the Linoleum Knife podcast, where you'll get cut with a linoleum knife if you're not careful.
You're back from South by Southwest.
You were in South by.
Yes, and I'm just now getting rid of all my Texas allergies.
Nice.
I lived there for nearly a decade, and I can't go back without coming home with some new pollen in my head.
I had a good trip. I got to see Great Drake, and we hit the Hula Hut and did some karaoke and saw some friends. But I managed to not have any tacos while I was there. That's a huge fail on my part.
Yeah, I didn't either, but I was there for 48 hours, so you know.
Did you see anything?
The only thing that I saw, I didn't see it at South by Southwest, but I was sent a screener link, Yen Tan's new film 1985, which I really like a lot. Corey Michael Smith, who plays Edward Nygma on Gotham.
Oh, yeah.
Who was also in Carol, plays a guy who lives in New York, coming home to Texas for Christmas, but you know, it's 1985, and you know, for gay guys, that was a touchy period, and it's quite possible this will be his last Christmas. His parents are played by Virginia Madsen and Michael Chiklis, and they're both really good. And it's a beautiful movie. I liked it a lot. I hope it gets some exposure.
Nice. I didn't see anything while I was there, or not any movies. Yeah, and we were talking before we started the clip. I've got a bunch of stuff backed up at home that I need to watch, up to and including, I was all Jones that the new Jessica Jones came out.
Right.
And I've watched half of the first episode, and I've just not watched anything. Like
I haven't seen any of it yet, and I'm dying to, but it's like, there's just, seriously, you know, I know we always say we live in the age of too much television, but we just live in the age of too much Netflix. If all I had to watch was Netflix, like I haven't seen any of Nailed It, which I hear is funny. I haven't seen any of Ugly Delicious, haven't gotten started on Jessica Jones. It's just this never-ending treadmill with these guys.
Yeah, you know, look, like we're complaining about having to watch stuff. Poor us, right?
I know,
but here's the problem for the kids watching. I'm on the wrong side of 45, and I have found that if I go home and watch something and sit on the couch, I am like inside of 20 minutes, even stone cold sober, I am out.
Yeah.
Out. And to the point that I have thought about, so I'll sometimes download something to my iPad and take the train in, or I thought I'd be able to watch Jessica Jones on the airplane back and forth, but I couldn't download the episodes yet. Netflix.
Oh yeah, that's true. I tried to take them to Austin, they wouldn't let me.
Yeah,
I don't know what that's about. But I mean, here's the thing: there was a time when you could be somebody who wrote about pop culture, or even just wrote about television, and could conceivably take it all in. And now I don't know how anybody does it. I mean, like if I were somebody who did nothing but write about television for like Vulture or somebody,
right?
There's no one person can do it anymore. It's crazy.
I had a friend who's not a professional in this space. She just loves TV. She's got 3 or 4 DVRs.
Wow.
Because she needs the space and she needs to be able to catch all the channels.
Right,
it's crazy. So here's where I'm at, because I feel like I burn an hour in the morning and an hour in the afternoon driving to and from work. And I've got a new car in the last few months. It's a used car, but you can play DVDs on the navigation screen.
No.
When the car is stopped.
No.
But apparently, I have researched, allegedly, you can get software to break that, and you could basically jailbreak your car so you can watch DVDs while you're driving around.
Stop it.
I'm getting shaken heads from Bart.
There. Don't text and drive. Don't binge and drive. No.
See, I'm ready for a self-driving car.
No.
I'm ready for a self-driving car because I could get so much more watch.
Sure, right? And you can sit in the back seat, you know.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we're supposed to talk about what happened at the box office.
We should.
I did not see any movies this weekend.
Spoiler, Black Panther. Topped it again, now matching apparently Avatar and The Sixth Sense as being movies that hit #1 for 5 weeks running.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And Love, Simon did not do all that well. I guess it did okay.
And from everything I read, it's like it did fine. It did fine. It had 11.5 million on 2,402 screens. And so it's like, it was good, it was fine. The actually sort of breakout story for this weekend was a Christian film called I Can Only Imagine that Lionsgate and Roadside Attractions put out. They hit a little over 17 on fewer screens than Love, Simon. Apparently they did really aggressive marketing with churches and did a lot of group sales and had, it was being promoted from the pulpit. It's based on a really, really, like the most popular Christian single of all time. This is the song, I Can Only Imagine. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out this month because, One of the things they talked about with A Wrinkle in Time, and maybe what kept it from doing better than it did, was that it followed Black Panther so quickly,
right?
And they were sort of going after a similar demographic. Not this Friday, but next Friday, we see the release of God's Not Dead 3. So I don't know if the current juggernaut of I Can Only Imagine is going to dig into that, or if the same people that showed up for opening weekend of this one are going to show up for opening weekend of that one, but
So they have totally missed the boat on the names of the sequels for God's Not Dead, right? Like the second one should have been
God's Still Not Dead,
and the third one should have been
No, really.
Right. I said God's Still Not Dead. Yeah.
Actually, I don't even think it's called God's Not Dead 3. It's like God's Not Dead : something. I don't know.
The Return.
Don't know.
The Resurrection.
Tomb Raider was the top opener of the weekend, or the debut film of the weekend at number 2, with a little over 23 million, which I think also counts in the okay.
Now that screen, when I was flying out to Austin, did you see it?
I did.
And I didn't watch your review.
In a nutshell, I like the character. The character is presented as interesting, and Vikander is fine doing it. But it falls into that video game thing of like,
right.
And then this happened, and And it would be nice if in the sequels, which they clearly want to make, and if they do, like just don't, other adaptations from other media don't feel tied down to certain conventions. I don't know why all video game movies can't just take the character and the situation and then tell the story in a different way that doesn't resemble video game narrative. And maybe there are some films that do that. I haven't seen all the video game adaptations, but that is more often than not why video game adaptations don't work.
Yeah, I think, and we'll talk about this, I think, because there's something coming out on home video that's more about video games rather than a game itself. The movies that are inspired by games, or just gaming culture, seem to be so much better than a movie just straight up based on a game.
Bibbs did a whole list of them. They're like, the Tron movies,
right.
And King of Kong, and I would add Scott Pilgrim, movies that sort of reference video games and use certain elements of them tend to play better than ones that are like straight up adaptations.
So it's another kind of lackluster March weekend, not great. We got, what's coming up this weekend?
What is this?
I'm totally out of it. I've been at Sundance.
I was going to say, someone needs some coffee.
Yeah, I do. I've had like 3 cups of coffee.
This weekend is Pacific Rim Uprising, Midnight Sun, Paul, Apostle of Christ, Sherlock Gnomes, and Unsane. So that's a lot of stuff.
I'm glad you brought. So I'm going to the screening of Pacific Rim tomorrow night, and my wife happened to see that at the ArcLight Sherman Oaks. They're showing The Breakfast Club on Tuesday, and so she says, "Hey, Gabe, do you want to go see that?" And my 14-year-old, totally wants to go.
Sure.
And they were all excited about this. I was like, "Yeah, but I'm going to see Pacific Rim on Tuesday night," and he's like, "Yeah, I want to go see Breakfast Club." And I guess that's probably the right choice, but.
Look, I was not the biggest fan of Pacific Rim, and I love.
I love that movie.
I love a kaiju and a giant robot. Like, that's not my beef with it at all. I had a hard time. I couldn't. That movie felt really dark and rainy to me. This one, from the trailer, at least looks like the graphics are better. Is it in 3D? Do we know?
I don't know.
Because the first one, they showed it to us in 3D. It all felt really dark and muddy, and I was like, I can't see what's going on. Okay. So I'm down for some cheeseball action.